Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Real Red Talk. We have another twist in the Antony drama, and this is a very important piece of evidence which we're going to discuss. We're also going to discuss Jadon Sancho's future. We've just had a massive update with that about 1 minute before I was about to go live, so I want to talk about that. Højlund's interview, there's a couple of interesting quotes coming from that. Obviously, Graham Souness won't be too happy with it. And we've got Donny Van De Beek's future that I want to talk about and much more as well. So as always, make sure you are throwing your questions in the comments and get your comments in general. It's just a solo show today, so I hope you guys don't mind, but I need you guys to interact with us and we'll have a conversation about this evidence that is recently brought to light because it is absolutely massive news. So with Antony, we'll just kick things off straight off the bat. A transcript of a conversation about Antony recorded on the 7th of July between Reginaldo Teixeira, who sounds like a football player, maybe was an ex-football player, but he is a member of Antony's entourage. What position he has in that entourage, I'm not entirely sure, but he's a member of the entourage, okay? And Ingrid Lano. So the conversation has gone on between them. Ingrid Lano was one of the alleged victims who mentions in the transcript that she got pressured by the media to do an interview and conspire with other victims. She even says Gabriela, the main one who's been pushing this kind of agenda, the one involved, has done it to other footballers as well, other Brazilian footballers, including Dani Alves. And that was just a couple of the quotes that were leaked out on there. But I'm going to dive into the rest of the transcript. I'm not going to read it all out because it is a very, for anybody who's read it, will know, it's a very strange transcript. It's odd. It's very, very odd the way it's kind of worded. I don't know if it's like a certain way it's been translated or whatever, but it's very strange. But anyway, first and foremost, I don't know why United Stand are releasing it like the Manchester GMP police, like they're putting out there like breaking news. Fair enough to him. They got the scoop. That's absolutely fine. And I know Goldbridge used to be a detective, but I didn't think he was still in that line of work. Apparently he is. But yeah, like I said, fair play to getting the scoop. They obviously released that on their Twitter, Instagram, etc. For everybody to see. And this is obviously a huge twist. Like I said, from what I gather, one of the victims who claimed to be abused by Antony had a telephone conversation leaked by the United Stand, which may indicate, that Antony did not assault the alleged victim. There was mentions of cash to lie about Antony and create a false narrative with the media applying pressure. And there's been back and forth on this situation. Like I said, I'm not going to read out the whole transcript because it is a very odd conversation, but if this is the case, and these girls were lying about him and they were trying to create something to get a bit of money, exploit it for money, then these should be held equally as accountable as well. If it's true, then they should be held accountable and something should happen. Why can this happen? They try exploiting for money and create lies and then get away with it because they won't get any time. They won't, have any punishment whatsoever. It'll just kind of fade off into the dust. It's like Antony, but thank God I didn't get exploited there because it has happened to other footballers. And I think the reason why this one has accelerated so quick and people was kind of believing it as much was because of the whole situation that happened with Mason Greenwood. Now, they're two completely different situations because Mason Greenwood, the evidence was already out there that, there was audible things, there was pictures and stuff, that it was being heavily investigated. This is slightly different. This is accusations. And then we started looking into it and, saw a couple of lies and a couple of things. People take Antony's personality and instantly think, oh, he's capable of doing this, so he must have done it. And then narratives start getting spread around the media. Media are pushing for people to speak out about this because they'll get clicks. It's Manchester United. It's a flamboyant Brazilian player. They're going to get all the clicks that they need. So, look, this, like I said, it's an interesting twist, isn't it? What are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave a like on the video for us. Subscribe to the channel. I'm quite bright here. I'm going to turn down my lighting in a second. But let me know your thoughts on the situation because it is an interesting turn. Official MUFC 17 says, any more updates on Antony? This is the latest update you're going to get on Antony. Vincent saying, are you saying that Antony is our Johnny Depp innocent? Well, we've seen it before, haven't we, Vincent? That's the thing. Crazy how many people are giving him guilty verdict before knowing facts. That's what I mean. That's why I'm not as quick to jump on it and say blah, blah, blah. And equally, with this news coming out as well, I'm not going to just sit here and say that he's definitely not done it because that isn't the case. It doesn't mean he hasn't definitely done it. But for all we know, he could have done certain things that were mentioned, like punching, headbutting, whatever it was. He could have been violent against her. We don't know that for a fact. But this piece of evidence is obviously very significant. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how the authorities handle it from this point and what comes out after. But maybe Antony will be back in the squad sooner than we think. People thought he might be out for months. You know, these things tend to drag on. And maybe this bit of evidence will be like, look, this is what's going on. People are starting to turn against Gabriella Cavallin, I think it is, something along the lines of that. If she's done it to footballers before, what's stopping her from doing it again? Has she been punished before from when she's done it to other footballers? If not, why not? We live in a world where obviously if it's the other way, he's definitely going to get punished and he's probably going to get some prison time or whatever. But if it's the girl accusing and it doesn't come out thinking, then what happens to her? That's my only question. But again, it's in the balance at the minute. No one really knows what's going on. You can only speculate. But what are your thoughts on this Antony situation? Get your comments in, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read out some as well. Alyssa says, what's the Sancho update? Jadon Sancho, I'll talk about that in a second. Give me 1 second. George Tomlinson says, have you seen his Instagram story? I can't speak Portuguese. Mate, I've tried. I was just thinking the exact same thing before. I was checking. So Ingrid, well, I forgot her name now. What's her name? Ingrid, where is it? Ingrid Lana. So Ingrid Lana was one of 3 girls who have come out with these accusations, and now she's basically saying that the media were pushing her to do an interview, and she was trying to get cash out of it. She also said that Gabriella, her words, not mine, is a whore, and she's done it to footballers before, and she's trying to get cash and blah, blah, blah. And these have all been put in Instagram stories on Gabriella, Ingrid, other people. And obviously I don't speak Portuguese, so I can't translate it. I was looking at it, I was thinking, any emojis in there that I can kind of get a reading on? We even, on the Real Reds page, messaged both of them to see if any comments on it at all or whatever. Obviously, they're probably not going to reply to it, but I just think it's an interesting development, and I want to hear it from both sides now. I want to see, obviously, Antony's spoken out quite a bit on it, but I want to see what Antony's saying about this situation, because he must be frustrated. He must be very, very frustrated. And I think if it comes out that he didn't do it and he's took himself away from the squad to not be a distraction, I think that fair play to him. Fair play to him, innit? Innocent till proven guilty. Man, I love Antony. I hope he's innocent. Seen his interview too, couldn't understand him either. Antony's innocent until proven guilty. Unfortunately, society is already judging. The captain says aggressive player doesn't mean he's like it off the pitch. And I think that's where most people kind of swayed with the narrative, didn't they? They look at how he is and how he applies himself on the pitch, and he works very hard. He gets into spats with players back and forth. And his natural style of play is quite aggressive, isn't it? That doesn't mean he headbutts birds and slaps them. Do you know what I'm saying? But obviously, people create narratives around it. So I hope, whatever the truth is, I hope it comes to light. I hope we can move on from this, because with Manchester United in a minute, it's drama after drama after drama. And that's when we circulate back to Alyssa's point in the comment that says, what is the Jadon Sancho update? So 2 main updates coming out from Jadon Sancho today. Manchester United are concerned that Jadon Sancho's critical social media post remains, and it is pinned at the top of his X account, which X is obviously Twitter now for all you boomers out there. And then the Daily Mirror or Cross, whatever it is, has just come out and said Jadon Sancho wants to push a move in January as these talks failed to reach a resolution. This post that Sancho still got, by the way, that's pinned at the top of his Twitter profile. I refuse to call it X because it's just stupid. The post that is at the top of his Twitter profile has got 62 million people that have viewed it. He's not took it off. It's been up there for a long, long time now. It's still up there. So he obviously believes in the post that he put out, saying there's more to go behind closed doors. I'm never not trained properly and blah, blah, blah. But there's obviously friction there between the manager and Finger. And we've already seen this round. We've already been round this with Cristiano Ronaldo. And what happened? The player on the other side always ends up basically leaving, doesn't he? Ten Hag wanted rid of De Gea, gone. Ten Hag wanted rid of Cristiano Ronaldo, gone. He did want rid of Harry Maguire. Maguire's still here. So, look, to get a deal in January for Jadon Sancho when he's on 350 grand a week and he's on 50 million, he's probably a 50 million pound player. That total investment, you're looking at 1.4 million per month times 10. You're looking at a lot of money, like 100 million pound investment for a player who hasn't really lived up to it at Manchester United. And the only logical solution that I could think in my head is maybe go back to Borussia Dortmund, but Borussia Dortmund can't afford it financially, so they can't bring him back. So it's a minefield. Again, we may have another player who's unhappy here. And whilst we've got a spot in a minute, because Antony took a leave of absence, while we've got a spot in a minute that's open to take, Palestri's there who can take it. Sancho's not able to do that because he's having a row with the manager. So you can't write the script for Manchester United. It's madness, utter madness at the moment. Does he have a future at Manchester United? Let's see how many people say yes and how many people say no. After this recent news that has come to light, do you think Jadon Sancho has a future at United? Let me know in the comments section. And can he ever work in this system as well? Not only just, will he stay at United if he solves this, just his playing style in general. And another question I've got for you is, and I'll read out your comments. Can you name 3 standout moments where Jadon Sancho has put in a really good performance? 3. If anyone can name 3, I'd be astonished because I've watched Jadon Sancho anytime he's played. Pre-season, cup games, Champions League, Europa League, whenever I've watched him. And I've seen sparks, I've seen bits of brilliance, I've seen goals against City. I've never seen a full 90-minute performance where I think he's been fantastic today. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm lying. I don't know, but I can't, off the top of my head, I can't recollect one moment. I really can't. Shreya says, Manny has a strong character if all of this is true. And in his favour, I think he's alluding to Antony there. Name 1 Carabao Cup final. Sancho, what? Sancho didn't play well in the Carabao Cup final. He didn't even start, did he? In the Carabao Cup final. Not that I can remember anyway. There was one against Liverpool, I think it was. Yeah, are you alluding to the game where because obviously we lost the first 2 games against Brentford and Brighton, wasn't it? Alluding to the game after that where he scored, he sent Milner to the shop, didn't he? And then Rashford scored as well. Maybe in that game it was decent. But what I'm saying is, if you're paying £73 million for a player and you're paying him 350 grand a week, you need more than a shiny performance once against Liverpool and a handful of performances. What we saw at Dortmund, he had a season at Dortmund where he had like 18 goals and 16 assists. He was killing it. His link up with Hojlund was really, really good. He had a good partnership with the wing backs at Dortmund with Guerrero and what's his name? He was on the right back. I can't remember who was at right back. But that partnership, whether he was on the left or the right, he was really, really good. From the reports that I've seen, his favourite position or his favoured position is the left-hand side. But Garnacho and Rashford are there. And at the moment, I would play them both over Sancho, simply because they've got pace, they're direct, and Garnacho seems like he's got a higher ceiling for me at the moment. You're never going to get played over Antony because he's Ten Hag's favourite player and he's forked out about £85 million for him. So you're going to find it tough there. We've tried you as a 10, which looked okay against Leicester when you came on at half-time. And then when he did it again, just didn't look right at all. And that's Bruno's position as well. We tried you as a false 9 in pre-season, but for whatever reason that is, he never played you there on a permanent basis. So, I honestly, I don't know. I can't see a world where Jadon Sancho fits in this United team. I really, really I'd love to be proved wrong because I think there's a talent there. But if you have to go through this much effort with one player, is it really worth it? He sent him off last season. He missed he missed nearly half a season doing this individual training camp. So clearly Ten Hag sees something is there, but he's not applying himself. He's not doing something right in training. And I tend to believe that. You look at the history with your Manchester United, like I said, we had to send him off last year to go do some individual training. At Dortmund, he came out and saying, no, he was a scapegoat and they're not treating him right and blah, blah, blah. And then at City, Pep got rid as well. So is this just a coincidence that we've had these number of incidents where, these things coming out about Sancho? I don't think it is. And I back the manager fully on this. If he's not putting in effort in training and applying himself to his full potential that he should be doing, then why keep him? David Harrington says, do you think Antony's innocent? I bet him and his missus were both at it in terms of the toxic relationship that others seem like cancers. Look, I think some of your points there I would take. I think maybe, there's a lot of people that have been in toxic relationships before where you get a bit verbal. And I think he actually said that in one of his statements that, yes, verbally, we've been aggressive at each other's necks saying, fuck you, I don't want you here anymore, leave, and blah, blah, blah. A lot of relationships have that. When it turns physical, that's when it's just a completely different scenario when you need to talk about it. Do I think he's probably had verbal wars with this thing? Yeah. Do I think I think he mentioned something about her being on top of him and he threw her off. I don't know. There's a very fine line, isn't there? So I don't think he's done it. Judging from the things that I've read and things that I've seen, I don't think he's done it, but I'm not a detective, so I don't have a clue. Jay Gill says, can you try Mason Mount there? On the right-hand side, you certainly can. I think under Thomas Tuchel, as one of the attackers. You got in the 21-22 season, he got 10 goals and 11 assists, didn't he? One of his best returns, the assist in the Champions League final. Really, really important player for Thomas Tuchel. Obviously, Ten Hag sees something in him, but as an attacker, I don't know, because I thought he brought Mason Mount in because he makes up for what Christian Eriksen lacks off the ball. You look at the big games that we played last season against City, Liverpool, whoever it was. When we played Eriksen in them games, whenever we had a transition or they had a counter attack or they were just moving up the pitch quickly, Eriksen's like, and fair, to be fair to him, the guy had a heart attack on the pitch. You know what I mean? Like, he's getting older now. He's not that fit. He's never been that physical, mobile player anyway. So, in my opinion, I thought they was bringing him in to cover that because he's one of the best pressers in the league. He's a dogged player, which is really, really hard. Great on the half turn. So if you're playing transitional football, he's perfect for that. And if you're trying to win the ball high up and get them turnovers, he's perfect for that. We saw that in the first half against Spurs. So that's the whole reason why I thought it. But for whatever reason, the midfield didn't work. The combination, the chemistry, whatever it was, whether it was Casemiro's a slow starter, Bruno Fernandes wasn't quite on it, or Mason Mount just was pressing up too high. I don't know what it was, but that experiment didn't work. So maybe they bring Amrabat into the midfield, they put Casemiro alongside him, and then they put, Mount or Bruno ahead of him, or Bruno on the wing. But a lot of people don't like Bruno Fernandes or Mason Mount on the wing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with it. What's your opinion on this team? Paul Pogba doping. Maybe he was doing it for Manchester United, and that's why we got rid of him. I mean, again, that's speculation in it on Paul Pogba. I mean, that is a crazy situation in it, by the way. He's moved to Juventus. He's played about 2 or 3 games. He's been injured most of the time. And now it's come out that he's doping and could be banned for 4 years. So you might as well retire. And he even said that he thought about retiring after the whole scandal with his brother and this gang that was trying to do him for extortion and stuff. So he's not had it the best, as I think on his day he was mega talented, but that was the issue. Everybody talks about Paul Pogba. They say on his day, why could he not do it consistently for us? That was the main issue with us. So let's not get that twisted. That's the narrative. Jean-Pierre says, I mean, Brazil of all places seems like a place where fraud would be popular, especially for famous athletes. That's just my view. I'm still 50-50 on Antony, and I equally am still 50-50 on Antony as well. I'm not saying this is, banging a hammer on the thing saying case closed, we're done here, but it is, you have to admit, it is a significant piece of evidence to go off in it. Island Devils TV says, I don't think a guilty man with such high profile would make these innocent claims publicly. It would be worse if he is guilty now that he has done these interviews. A lot of people seem to be siding with that, in fairness. Alyssa says, I mean, if it was any other job and he wasn't pulling his weight, it'd be a no-brainer to get him gone. It just depends if Erik Ten Hag thinks he can find his form, but he's already had chances. And that's what I mean. This is the last chance saloon. Everyone was criticising Erik Ten Hag for publicly speaking about Jadon Sancho and airing the dirty laundry, if you will, similar to how Rangnick did, didn't it, with the actual club itself. People criticize him, but what else can you do? If you've already sent him off for individual training programs, you tried him as a 10, you tried him on the right, you tried him on the left, you tried him as a false 9, and he's still not working in these games. What else are you supposed to do? Apart from the tough love route where you go, you know what? Let's just call him out and let's see how he reacts to it. And judging from the reports that are coming out saying that he wants to move in January, he can't be asked. So fine with me, mate. No worries. You go off. You go to another club, find your form, do well, and hopefully we'll get some money for you. That Saudi Arabia thing was the only promising thing for me because they'll pay his wages and they'll pay a fee. The fact that it was coming out that they was looking for a loan deal and then couldn't afford the fee to pay for... You couldn't afford a fee to pay for Jadon Sancho. You're paying Jordan Henderson £700,000 a week, but you couldn't afford the fee for Jadon Sancho. Saudi. Am I missing something here? Saudi Arabia can't afford a fee for Jadon Sancho. No, I don't know. David Harrington says, Juve giving him Royce to try to get him back. Maybe he was trying it himself. What's this news breaking here? Manchester United are in advanced discussions with American company Qualcomm to replace TeamViewer on the front of the jersey. United are targeting a £60 million deal. That's breaking news coming out from The Athletic. An American company, Qualcomm, to replace TeamViewer, £60 million a year. More money in the Glazers' pockets. Sorry for people who didn't see that. New sponsorship deal for Manchester United in the wings. Athletic just reported it. £60 million a year deal. Qualcomm, an American company, if anyone's heard of him. Never heard of him myself. Big up everyone in the TikTok as well. Make sure you drop us a follow on the page and subscribe to YouTube as well. Leave a like on the video for us if you haven't already. I'm going to talk about Højlund in a second. I'll read out this last comment from Sylvinus Charles. Sancho has talent, but he doesn't have the mettle to represent his club. Look how Wan-Bissaka got his head down and now cemented his place in the team. And that is the mentality that you want in it. 100%. Dave says, problem is if Erik ten Hag speaks out, he throws Sancho under the bus. If he doesn't, he's the worst. Exactly. You can't win. You know what I mean? It's just a minefield, isn't it? We should be called Minefield United. Because everywhere you step in a minute, there's a story, isn't there? Unfortunately for us as fans, being dragged through the mud as usual. Right, let's talk about Rasmus Højlund then. So there's a couple of quotes I want to touch on that he's spoken during international duty. He got asked if he's looking forward to continuing his journey with United. He says, of course, I'm looking forward to it. I've said it before, but that's probably what you miss the most when you're on the national team. So I look forward to it. I am living the dream, so I am happy. It's been positive. I think I did well when I came in, and I hope that there are more minutes after the international break. We have some exciting matches ahead. We have to face Brighton and Bayern Munich, so I'm really looking forward to that. But obviously, because Graham Souness has condemned the signing, and it automatically means he's going to be shit, just like the Sandro was, just like Casemiro was. I'm Graham Souness. What I say is absolute gospel, and take that as you will. It's a poor Scottish accent. It's groundskeeper Willie, but we move. On a serious note, though, what are we expecting? Let me get your thoughts. What are we expecting from Rasmus Højlund this season? Talk to me. Let me talk to you. Talk to me. What do you think he's going to get goals and assist-wise? What is the pressure on him because of the price tag? I want to know. I want to know. How will he link with other players around him? Bruno Fernandes, Palestri, if he starts on the right, getting crossed into the box for him. A couple of left wingers as well. Garnacho, Rashford, who were selfish, if we're being honest. They need to switch their game up. But how do we think? Let's get the ball rolling on this one. Sam's in the chat saying, mental update, so hard to discern the truth from lies, but without context, if these messages are true, that casts doubts on all accusations. Absolutely. I'd be happy with 10, 15 goals, says David Harrington. Dave in the TikTok says, I'd be happy with a target of being hit of 15 goals to get him going. 15 seems to be the usual number at the minute. Alex Galloway, 1993, says, we'll be pleasantly surprised, and I don't think anybody will care about the price. Eventually, I mean, people will care if he doesn't bag a goal at all and puts in a Vegas performance. But I take your point that United fans aren't as fussed about the price tag as all the other media outlets and ex-players are making out in the media. But look, they're going to. It's United. They've spent a lot of money. He's going to get targeted. It is what it is, unfortunately. But I'm looking forward to Højlund. The 20, 30-minute cameo that I saw against Arsenal, I even saw Arsenal fans talking about it after the game on a couple of their reviews, and he was saying his physical presence, like they haven't seen Gabriel get mauled like that, one of the strongest centre-backs in the league, for a while. He came on, young lad, tall, strong, was fizzing him off. The Garnacho goal, he had a flick, an important flick for that. And he just looked about it. And even when he had like that kind of straight runner pace, he looked rapid. Absolutely rapid. One of them new kind of hybrid strikers now where you can play it to feet, you can run in behind. He's tall, but really, really quick. It looks like a kind of Usain Bolt runner, if you know what I mean. Similar to Erling Haaland, which is where the comparisons kind of are drawn. So I think Rasmus Højlund, I don't want to get ahead of myself and I don't want to get clipped up, but I think he could be a serious, serious problem. If he's got his shooting boots on and he starts bagging quickly, he can be a serious problem. But again, the supply lines around him need to be efficient. If you've got Antony, Rashford on the wings, I don't think there's enough supply there for him. Bruno Fernandes, I think they'll have a great relationship, but that's why I think sometimes you may see him out on the wing or Bruno putting them crosses in for him. Or if Palestri gets an opportunity, equally as well, we could put in assists for him and stuff. So, yeah, I think it's exciting. But we've literally only seen 20, 30 minutes, haven't we? So there's not much to go off. Dave says, the thing we have is goals from our attack. Rashford, Fernandes, Garnacho need the rest to chip in. I agree with that to a certain extent. Rashford, obviously, 30 goals in all comps. Yeah, obviously fantastic. Bruno, I think he got 9 goals, 9 assists, which is okay. But then I think when you go to the wingers, Sancho, not enough goals or assists. Antony, not enough goals or assists. Garnacho, developing, so you can't put too much weight on him. But our wingers definitely need to score more, in my personal opinion. Vince says, lighting may be quick, but can you be quick with the ball? Usain Bolt showed he was quick, but no good with the ball. Well, yeah, you can't have but the best of both worlds, can you? If you Usain Bolt, I suppose. If Højlund does what Haller did for Ajax, Ten Hag, would we be happy with that? Well, Haller in the Champions League was a monster, wasn't he? So, look, if you could put in similar performances like that, happy days, happy days. One player who won't be putting in similar performances like that is Donny Van De Beek. Or maybe he will. Maybe he'll surprise a few people. But I've had a couple of updates from good friend of the channel, James Rhodes from the Muppeteers, was putting Donny Van De Beek turned down a lot of moves in the summer. Maguire got ridiculed for not moving, even though he did change his mind towards the end of the window. But Donny Van De Beek has rejected moves from France, from Turkey, from Italy as well, and is chosen to stay at Manchester United effectively. Romano said today there's a very good chance that Donny Van De Beek will stay at Manchester United until January. He's not going to move just for the sake of for going for 6 months, and move to Turkey is not likely at this moment in time. So what do you do then, Donny? What do you do? Because you're not getting in that midfield. Look, let's together, let's go through it. Midfielder options, right? We're gonna put a scan there and put all these players here, right? Casemiro, Amrabat, Kobe Mainoo, Scott McTominay, Christian Eriksen, Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes. Is there anyone else I'm missing? I feel like there is. Where is he going to play? Even in cup games, where is he going to play? I don't see where he's going to get an opportunity. I really, really don't. So he's saying that it's not worth going just for 6 months or whatever. Why not? Why isn't it? You need to get yourself back playing, first and foremost, regular game time, not just minutes here and there. Go to a place where you're actually appreciated and loved. I'm not saying he isn't appreciated by us. Like we have that kind of sympathy for him. Seems like a nice guy, trains hard, but he's too flaky for the Premier League. I think that's been obvious. Can't be at a club for 2-3 years and still not have a proper run of games yet and have an argument. Again, my opinion, but I don't get why he's still here. He should have gone. He should have just gone. But if he's happy staying here and sit and bench warming, then I suppose it's his decision, isn't it? But I just don't think it's the right decision at all. Go somewhere where you love to get your career back on track. Doesn't make sense to me at all. Palestri and Ahmad, but Ahmad is injured. Ahmad, for the start of the season, was out for 4 months, so I think he should be back in. When was it? He should be back in November, I believe, or maybe early December. And that's a shame, really, because I thought with this right spot open at the minute, someone needs to grab that opportunity, whether it's Palestra. If Ahmad was fit now, I believe he would get it above Palestra because he's that kind of inverted winger. I think Ten Hag will lean more towards him. But look, if Palestra gets the opportunity, there's been a lot of people on our channel, on TikTok, wherever it is, even when you read the comments, a lot of people are saying they want to see Palestra play. He deserves it. When I saw him at a cameo against Real Betis, when I saw him at a cameo against, I think it was Fulham, was it? I think, and then there was one against one in the Carabao Cup as well. Like he's looked decent every time he's come on. Injection of pace, gets the ball into the box, and that is what Antony doesn't do. Antony works hard, really, really, really well off the ball, and keeps his shape, discipline, and his positional sense is good. And obviously, he can beat a man, he can have a shot at time and bag some worldies. But Palestra runs past the man and gets the ball into the box. And Rasmus Højlund will be like, yes, please, Palestra, put them balls into the box for me, pal, and I will bag. Because he's a box striker. You look at Rasmus Højlund's shots from inside the box, like the metrics, most of his shots, are from inside the box at Atalanta. So I think Palestra would be perfect for him, and they could kind of develop a partnership there. David Harrington says Romano today said United that Sociedad had a deal agreed, but United wouldn't pay some of his wages, so it couldn't happen. To be honest, I'm not mad at that because United have done that a lot, haven't they? Paid wages for certain players, so I'm not really bothered with that. They need to put a stand down and say, like, look, if you want to loan one of our players and get his services, we're not going to pay his fucking wages. So yeah, I'm not too mad at that. Grace Sheridan says, just joined. Who are we talking about? Donny Van De Beek. So we've spoken about Antony and the transcript that's come out, the United stand leaked. We've spoken about Jadon Sancho and him possibly wanting to move on in January. We've spoken about Rasmus Højlund and how exciting he could be for the team and the midfield with Donny Van De Beek. And there's been a little, and when I say little, honestly, let me emphasize how little it is. It's like micro P size. A little update about the takeover. And this is coming from Tom Moras from the Telegraph, okay? Never heard of the geezer. It's the Telegraph, so I was like, fuck it, I might as well mention it. Sources close to the Glazer family, again, deny claims that the process to sell Manchester United has been shelved. Shelved? Shelved. Not been shelled like Yoshi on Mario Kart. They've been shelved. They're denying it. I don't know who this source close to the process is, but all the reports that came out from, was it Daily Mail who said that the Glazers are now staying? And then you had Neil Custis, who we like to call Neil Custard from The Sun, reporting that it's going to be sold in October. So one of you are going to be wrong, or maybe both of you are going to be wrong because you wanted them clicks on your articles and your boss was pushing you to put out a story. So again, look, it's stalled. It isn't. They'll be gone in 6 months. They'll be gone in 12 months. We've sold it to Qatar. It's not sold to Qatar. We're going to wait. I don't, at this point, who's asked anymore? Is anybody bothered at all? Because I'm not. I don't care. It's just a report. At this point, I just wake me up when they're gone. That is what I would say on the Glazers. One more thing I want to say on the Glazers as well. The members video that we put out yesterday, that's out. So let me first and foremost put that out there. That's focusing on Facundo Palestra, future star. Every detail you need to know about him, playing style, the teams that he come up through, how much he transferred to United. All that stuff that you need to know about Palestra is in there. So if you want to become a member, click the link in the description or the join button next to the notification bell. You get a chance to feature on a live show and exclusive content and free badges and other perks as well. The Glazer video, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but obviously there's new people in the chat and stuff. I've done a video on the Glazers, 18 years of neglect, and I've worked pretty hard on this. There's a lot of detail that's gone into it, about 25 minutes long. It's done. It's currently being edited as we speak, and that'll be out at some point this week. So keep an eye out for that. And that is taking a look at the whole time. It was pretty depressing, to be honest, but that was taking a look at the whole time since they've been here, how much money they've taken out of the club, all the bad incidents that's happened, the manager spouts, everything. Everything, this whole 18-year reign under the Glazers is spoken about in that one video. So please do keep an eye out for that. And when it drops, please do show some love, get your comments in, and leave a like on the video as well. And in general, for you guys who are live right now, if you've enjoyed the content, if you're not already subscribed to Real Reds Talk, please do. For people on TikTok, the link is in the bio. And for people who are already live on YouTube, you know the script as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to discuss. I mean, if you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about, I'm open for 5 minutes. So get your comments and get your questions in and let's talk some football, man. They own a business. What the fuck are they in business for? Taking money out. Isaac Newton here. Dividends, mate. Dividends. Take out more dividends than any other Premier League manager ever. Look, just please, I would advise anyone who throws this money argument with the Glazers, say, they've spent money. They've spent so much money. All right. United generate that money. United generate more money than anyone in the Premier League. We can spend that money. That's not their money out of their own pocket. That's what the club generates. Don't give me that bollocks. All that crap. Honestly. Yes, Brian. Brian's in the chat. That's just cheered me up. All right, Nick. Hope you're well. How's your Monday been? Busy, mate. Busy, mate. We had a show at 12 o'clock. Of course, me and Shreyas was live. I then was editing for a couple of hours on the Glazer video, which I've just been discussing. Went and got Starbucks. Did a bit of shopping and that. Come back. Done a show now. And then, yeah. Got a few more bits of editing to do, so just busy working on a channel. Grind. Consistency. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, took dividends out during the pandemic as well, says Shreyas. Yep. Hey, Shreyas, hope you're well today. There's a little chat going on there. Our record is pathetic. I know the Glazers are disgusting. They should help make good tactics too. That has... Look, if you don't think Eric Ten Hag has good tactics, then I don't know what to tell you, mate. I would applaud you to go watch the City game at Old Trafford where he makes a few tactical tweaks and we win the game. I'd applaud you to watch the Arsenal game or the Barcelona game or the Liverpool game where we beat him. Please do go watch that and tell me he hasn't got any tactics. We went to the new camp with Weghorst as a 10 and probably should have won that game. But yeah, he's a shit manager. He doesn't know what he's doing. He got third and a trophy with Weghorst up top. Like, do I need to say any more? That's kind of... If I had a mic, well, I have got a mic. It's here. But if I had a mic that I could drop, I would drop it right now. But I can't drop the water because the water will go everywhere, won't it? To be fair. Club sold before Christmas, you reckon? Says the captain. If you want... If my pessimistic mind's saying no, I don't think so. I think it'll be next year now. Because the way the Glazers are looking at it, they're looking at the landscape, looking at the money that's coming from Saudi at the moment, they're looking at the new Champions League format, looking at the new Club World Cup, and all things going on with that as well. I just think they can get more money for it, and their valuation hasn't been met. That obviously changes if Qatar goes, you know what, fuck it, we'll give you £6 billion. The Glazers go, oh, actually, yeah, we might sell. Yep, come here, let's make a deal. So things can change very, very quickly. But they will drag it on. We know as for United fans, they've got thick skin. Remember the Super League. Someone mentioned before, Shreya, mentioned before about the taking dividends out during the pandemic. These kind of things, they'll do it. They don't care. They don't give a fuck about the club. They really, really don't. So they will sit there for another 6 months if it means them getting an extra, couple of 100 million. They really will. United need a manager to change the culture of the club, i.e. Pep, Klopp, Arteta. Is that not what Ten Hag's doing? Am I missing something here? He got rid of Cristiano Ronaldo, the top goal scorer. One of the biggest global superstar, if not the biggest global football superstar ever. He got rid of David De Gea, who's been at the club for 12 years, a club legend. He wanted to get rid of the captain, Harry Maguire. Like, is he not doing that? I have no idea. Need stronger protest like there was for the Super League. Yeah, I remember them very fond. I was at the protest at Super League. I was at the protest on the pitch, allegedly, for the Liverpool game, for the Norwich game. The protests are good. I would always advise people to protest, but equally at the same time, there's only so much that protest does, to be honest. Like, if you can hit them in the pockets, if you could actually empty Old Trafford, it'd be great. I don't think we can, because you have international fans who will come over and buy merch and sit in the stadiums and won't protest. If we could do that, it'd be fantastic and hit them in the pockets. I just don't think it's realistic, personally. And I don't give credit out to Mark Goldbridge a lot, but he was speaking about this yesterday, and he was saying, what's the reality that you're going to get everyone to empty the stadium? It's just not possible. You're never going to do it. As for people buying merch and things like that, that's a personal choice. Is Dan, 26 years old from bloody Ireland, buying a United top? The difference between that, is that going to stop, make him leave? Like, I don't know. I don't moan at people who wear United tops. You can still hate the Glazers and wear a United top. I think the deal with Adidas is already done as well. They already pay them the money. So, yeah, I don't know. The captain says Mark Goldbridge isn't even his real name and he's Italian. Fact. His name's Brent in it, I think. Is it Brent? Something like that. And he used to be a detective, I believe. Breaking news. Takeover updates rumoured to stop till next month. I want to cry. Vincent Bullock says, well, it looks like we're being punished by Manchester United and they're making it look different for the sitting in. They spent $750,000 of the club's money to private jets to get them to the women's final of the FA Cup in the Carabao Cup. Brian says, poor 26-year-old Dan from Ireland just got called out on a live. Yeah, he weren't targeted. Ireland was just the first thing that came to my head because I saw your name, Brian, and obviously I know you from Ireland, so it was just like random name, age, Ireland. Yeah, it is what it is. But it's good to see you in the chat, Brian. It's good to see you in the chat. Looks like we're in talks for a new sponsor for sure. Yeah, I mentioned that before. The American company, I forgot the name of it now, but £60 million a year deal. TeamViewer weren't happy from the start, were they? I mean, they had all that kind of stuff during the Super League, all the protests, getting hit in the pockets and the reviews and stuff. So, yeah, sponsorship deals mean fucking nothing to me, to be honest with you. Because you know where that money's going on. That's the thing. That's not great. Not great at all, is it, pal? It's not great at all. Detective, that's why he found Greenwood and Antony guilty without knowing the full facts. You know what? There's a lot of people, I'm not just talking about the captain there, but there's a lot of people who don't like Mark Goldbridge, isn't there? Like, for all the comments that I see, people online, they cannot stand him. They really cannot stand him. It'll continue to get them top four, Ten Hag will get you Europe. But that's the system of United, mate. Like, many successful managers have been here. Van Gaal won an FA Cup and was like, I think, 1 point or level on points and missed out on fourth, and they sacked him. Mourinho got a second. They didn't back him and then sacked him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got a second, and for whatever reason, that fell off. Ed Woodward, and I say all this in the Glazers video that's dropping this week, so please do keep an eye out for that and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I say this in the video. Ed Woodward, or as I like to call him, Dead Woodward, from 2012-13, whenever he first came in after David Gill left, up until, how long was he here for, Ed Woodward? Was he like 10 years? Something along the lines of that? Look at fucking hell, my nose, man, did it, che? Just look at the transfer window. I would please advise you to go look at the transfer windows we had when he was in charge. David Moyes' first season after the greatest manager ever left position. David Moyes came in after him. Who did you get in the transfer window? Fellaini. If I was David Moyes, look, David Moyes probably wanted the player. Well, if I'm like, right, David, you're going to take after this great manager who's won, you know, so many titles, cups and trophies and stuff. Just won the league, by the way. We're going to get you Fellaini. And David Moyes is like, I'm sorry, what? And like, yeah, we're going to get you Marouane Fellaini. And we're not going to do it when Everton offered him to us for 25 million. We're going to do it at the end of the window for 30 million and get stung even more. All right, sound. Yeah, we're not going to get Thiago. We're not going to get Toni Kroos. We're not going to get Gareth Bale. We're not going to get Fabregas. We're going to get you Marouane Fellaini because that is the improvement we need. And then every window after that was pretty fucking embarrassing. Depay, Di Maria, Alexis Sanchez, Radamel Falcao, Odion Ighalo, Donny Van De Beek, which obviously hasn't worked out, Cavani. The list is endless. The list is absolutely endless. If they didn't did you see they're cropping out the Glazer chants and putting them on shorts on YouTube? Is that the MUTV production team? Or just the production team at United? Of course they are. Of course they are. Because that is all golden, polished TV. This is not what this is. This is why fan channels go off, because we say what we feel. We don't sugarcoat it. We don't coat it with crap. If they didn't back Charlotte after 3 poor seasons, we would have had the most successful period in the club's history. I mean, 2009 was it the transfer window where we brought in Owen, Valencia, and Obertan and sold Cristiano Ronaldo to Real Madrid? Like, what do you expect? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he still won a title in 2010, didn't he? But still, like, oh my God. Ed Woodward was a fantastic guy when it comes to the business world, but holy shit, he was absolutely dreadful to be put in a footballing job. Charlie Malman says Cavani was good when we got him. El Matador. No, look, yeah, that's where I don't want lines being blurred there. Cavani in the first year was unbelievable. That celebration, the chip, the passion, the game against Southampton when he came on as a sub, fantastic, fantastic. If we would have had a Cavani in his prime, unbelievable. Happy as Larry. The issue was injuries was really, really bad. He was way past his prime. He was like 35 years old. And we had this kind of thing where we just kept signing players by the name, but not by the age. Like Ronaldo was 37. Cavani was 35. Ighalo was 30. Radamel Falcao had really bad injury issues. I think the only striker that we bought over 20 was like Lukaku. So there was a glaring issue with recruitment, which we never addressed. Did you see the video of Højlund on the megaphone last night? Great mentality for a 20. Yeah, I love that. I love that. What did he say now? I saw it translated, but I can't remember what it was. But look, you'd love to see that, don't you? And I think that's one thing Ten Hag always identifies characters. If you look at the recruitment before that, we were bringing in flaky ass players with weak mentalities. You look at Lisandro, who's come in, fan favourite, strong mentality. Casemiro, leader, captain of Brazil, great mentality. Antony works hard, grafts for the team, really has that dogged fight in him. Mason Mount, similar. Bruno Fernandes is already here and he does that. But the players that he's recruited are like that. Even Malacia is a dogged left back. You know what I mean? And he's aggressive in his approach. And they're the kind of players that he wants. So Henry Jones says, oh, I'm back. I am back. Big up, Henry. Absolute legends in the cut. Højlund might become my next favourite. I was only supposed to be on for half an hour, but I'm loving this chat, so I'll just keep it going. Højlund might become my next favourite soon. Love his passion. He's got everything, hasn't he? He's got the whole lot. One of my mates famously said, and I'll be shocked if he's watching this right now, but if he is, he'll be laughing behind the screen. He was talking about Aguero, right, after that moment. He's not a City fan. He's a United fan. But he was saying, fucking hell, Aguero, he's got it all, hasn't he? He's quick. He's strong for his size. He's a great finisher. And then there was like a slight pause for like 10 seconds. And he went, not bad looking either. And that just reminded me of Højlund. Like, again, look, I'm a heterosexual male, but I can always appreciate when you have a good-looking striker. Does that mean he's going to bag goals? No, it doesn't. But look, it seems like he's got the full package, doesn't it? Let's see how his finishing comes to light over the next couple of weeks. I hope he does start bagging goals because I'll be his biggest defender. John Malman says, I hear the meeting between Ten Hag and Sancho wasn't good. Sancho says he leaves. Yeah, spoken about that before. Not looking great on Jadon Sancho's part, to be honest with you. Brian Casey says, I know we've had a lot to deal with this season, but the most depressing thing was last night seeing Wout Weghorst come off the bench to score the winner. Oh, was it against Ireland? Was it? Oh no. Yeah, it's never great when you concede a goal and it's Weghorst because he hasn't scored. He didn't score one league goal for us, did he, Weghorst? He scored against Betis like the fourth goal and we won 4-1. He was like crying at the corner flag and everyone was like, a bit awkward. I mean, all the passion, mate, but yeah, what's going to happen if you scored in the final? Malmin says, my favourite right now is Amrabat after the things he said. He's not yet played a minute. I've not heard what Højlund has said. I think once if, they're the two words that I want to kind of say. Once if we get everybody together and playing in a regular pattern and we don't have a lot of injuries, which is asking a lot because we have injury prone fucking hell, can't speak. Injury prone players. If we can get Onana, Wan-Bissaka, why am I forgetting? Varane, Lissandro, Shaw, Amrabat, Casemiro, Bruno, Antony, Hojlund, and Rashford playing on a regular basis and actually working together and get used to everybody's patterns, because there's new players that have come in that haven't even played with some of the players yet. So if we can get that on a regular basis and get them patterns developing, I think we could genuinely beat anyone. And when I look at that Bayern Munich game in the Champions League away at the Allianz, which is obviously the toughest game in the group, if you can get Amrabat in that midfield and you've got Rashford, Garnacho, Antony, Højlund, you can all destroy you on the counter-attack, and players like Bruno Fernandes on the ball, I think you can go there and get a result. Remember me saying this. I think we can go get a result there. I think we can. So, yeah. Red Devils TV says, sorry I'm late, mate. Listen, don't you apologise for being late, mate. You've got shit to do. It is what it is. What you can do, though, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Real Red Talk. We're trying to push it up to 3,400 subs. So if you enjoy the content, you like football, you like talking about football, then yes, please do subscribe. Leave a like on the video for us as well. Stephen Maguire says, no crying for likes on this channel. Oh, no. Oh, no. Fucking hell. Just shot myself in the foot there. I bet he was typing that, and as he just heard me there, he was like, fuck's sake. Yeah, sorry. It's got to be done. Should have signed him over Mount and go get a centre-back striker. Amrabat is key from defence to attack with his ball carrying. Well, we were speaking about Amrabat earlier, right? So, Sofiane Amrabat, for Morocco, which most people witnessed him, I mean, that's what they've seen him the most in it. My brain's going like that. At the World Cup in Qatar, that's where he stood out, wasn't it, for Morocco? But Morocco play a very defensive game in that kind of 4-1-4-1 formation. He was the one in that. The defensive midfielder was clearing up, was destroying Mbappe, looked really, really good. For Fiorentina, they, on average, I think they have second or third most possession in the league. So he has more chance to express himself on the ball. He's got them long switches of play. He can drill it through the middle. He can be that water carrier where he can carry it from back to front, a box-to-box role. He is good. One criticism of Amrabat might be that he doesn't get enough goals or he doesn't get enough assists. But if he becomes that glue between Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro in the midfield, nobody will be asked about that. The main issue this season and the start of this season has been that huge, giant gap in the midfield where Sarabia and Cunha are running through it, or Maddison, Basuma and Sarr are running through it, or even Nottingham Forest. You know, you saw Adewome, I can't say his name, I can never say his name, running straight through the middle. That has been the issue. You have Amrabat in them situations who's great at marking, great in a tackle, great at intercepting. You plug them gaps in, and then we have sustained pressure. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, I think Amrabat's going to be arguably one of the most important signings. I really, really do. I think Erik ten Hag will play Mount at right wing at some point. Did it against Chelsea. I think he'll do the same with Bruno Fernandes as well. I really, really do. Both Dalot and Bruno are playing for Portugal. No Ronaldo. Are Portugal on tonight? I didn't know that. I might go watch some football if we do. I think that's everything, people. Thank you very much. You absolute legends. We're going to try be live twice a day now if there's enough news. It's dead during the international break, so we can't really go live as much. But if we could just talk like this anyway, I'm not really fussed. What day are we on? Monday. We play Brighton on Saturday, so we'll have the preview for the Brighton game on Friday, of course. Thursday night, he's in the chat now, Red Devils TV. We're going to bring him onto the channel, have a little chat. He's new to the content creation whole thing. He's got his own channel. Make sure you check him out as well. We'll bring him on Thursday. I'm not sure when Sam's back. Sam's on holiday at the minute, so he'll be on at some point. I'm going to speak to Jay from Stretford Paddock. He might be on at some point this week. He was supposed to be on the last 2 Thursdays, but a lot of stuff's come up in terms of things going on with Manchester United. And James from the Muppeteers as well, who's been good all summer on transfers. We're speaking to him in a minute, and we'll get him on, who a lot of people appreciate. So, yeah, loads of stuff coming up with Manchester United. The one important thing, just one message to you guys. Please listen before I go. I'm not begging. I'm not doing anything like that. But the Glazers video is dropping this week. 18 years of neglect. I've worked hard on it. It's been edited right now. I know I've mentioned it a couple of times already. That will be dropping probably either tomorrow or Wednesday night. Please do check that out and let me know your thoughts on the video, and just give me your worst moments from the Glazers and how you see the future for Manchester United as well. Really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I would play the capybara sound for people that are putting the emojis in the chat, but I can't because I'm not through Discord. I'm just live on YouTube as a solo. So yeah, look, hope everyone has a fantastic week. You're not had a shit day in work because it is Monday, of course, the worst day of the week. But we build, we get better. I'll be live again tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So make sure you all come and tune in, and we'll see what the next update for Manchester United brings. Probably more drama in it, if we're being completely honest. So yeah, you're all a bunch of legends. I appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. In a bit, people.